Well, hey there, guys. Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to the channel. I am, of course, John Campea, and this is Open Mic. This is the afternoon show where it's more casual, laid back, relaxed. All we do is just take your comments and questions for the day, and that's what we're going to do here. I'm, of course, joined by Robert Meyer Burnett.
You think we'll talk about Chapek?
I'm sure it's probably going to come up a little bit.
Maybe a little?
Hey, we were lucky enough earlier today to have our buddy Cliff Stevenson on the show. You pointed out, like, four-time winner of the...
Four-time Saturn Award winner.
Four-time Saturn Award winner. He's worked a lot with Stallone, Gerard Butler, worked with Ryan Johnson on Knives Out.
He's working on the ultimate Rambo box set now, where they found elements they've never found, like 70mm sound elements and things. It's going to be like his life's work. I can't wait to get it. Yeah,
it's going to be really, really cool. So we were lucky enough to have him on earlier today, and you know, it was a long show today. How many segments did we end up with, Ray?
11.
11 segments. We normally like to do 6 or 7.
Yeah, but that's one less segment than the times Cliff went and saw Top Gun Maverick in the theater.
Yeah, we saw it 12
times.
12 times in theater. I got an interesting email. We might talk about this tomorrow on the John Campea Show, but I'm going to see if I can cross-reference this and get this corroborated by somebody else. So we talked a while ago that William Harper from what's the name of the show? Good Place.
Good Place.
Is going to be in Ant-Man Quantumania, right? We knew about that. And we did some speculative, maybe he's going to be a Reed Richards or something like that. Of course, that was just fun speculation. So I'm getting told right now that he is going to be, now I didn't recognize the character name.
Right.
But I did recognize the character moniker. So apparently he's going to be playing a character called Wendell Vaughn, better known as Quasar.
Yeah.
In the MCU, who's more obscure. He's a cosmic level character, but a little bit more obscure.
But there's multiple iterations of that character, I think. And I'm like, I mean, it makes sense, but I'd like to go and look into his past.
Yeah. And I got to put out some emails and some calls today. There's Quasar. I got to put out some emails and calls today to see if anybody else can back this up. That's the character, because I'm not sure at this point, but it makes sense that it would be kind of more of an obscure character if it does end up being that.
Right.
So if I can get that backed up by somebody else today, maybe we'll run that as a story on the John Campea Show tomorrow.
But they wear quantum bands.
Mm-hmm.
Quantum bands, like
that's part of the origin story of the character. Is the
and
quantum
maybe
bands.
maybe we find out Miss Marvel. It's all coming together.
Could be. Actually, I should look this up. Give me 1 second to see if I can find this. You guys may have seen this. I don't know if it's been out there or not.
Okay. This is interesting, John.
What's that?
Because I was thinking Quasar, there's been different versions. So there's Wendell Vaughn.
Yeah.
There's Phi Lavelle and Richard Rider as Quasar. Nova. Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can get this done right. I'm not sure I can. Hold on a second.
How's everybody in the chat?
How's everybody in the chat as I'm trying to do 5 things at once and I can't get it done? I saw a first promo poster for the Marvels.
You did?
Yeah, I've got it on my computer right now, but I have no way of sharing it. Hold on, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can get this thing. I know everybody's saying, John, we're here for a show. What
Is
are
it
you
this?
doing, man?
There you go.
Let's
Is that
see.
it?
Nope,
No,
that
was
wasn't it.
fake.
But I do like that, but it doesn't look.
I do love seeing the 80s Captain Marvel.
Ray could
I
do better
love
work
her.
than that.
No. Oh my
Let
gosh.
me look at my downloads.
Jonathan, look at this one.
Oh, you know what it is though? It's a file format that
Yeah,
the browser won't read, so I have no way of bringing it up on screen, unfortunately.
Can you screen grab it?
You know what? That's a very good idea. Let me try to screen grab it. Can I screen grab it? Oh, yes, I can. Now, this isn't breaking news or anything, because I think somebody else has already shared this.
I haven't seen it. It's breaking news for me.
Breaking news. Okay, let me see if I can get this now. Oh, I'm sorry. This is so unprofessional.
Meanwhile,
this is so disorganized.
At the Hall of Family.
Rob, sing to the audience, entertain them. Where I tried to pull up.
Her
a
name
stupid,
was
useless
Lola.
picture.
She was a showgirl
Okay.
with yellow feathers.
There we go. Can you bring up my?
Demonetized.
See if you can bring up my NDI there.
Okay.
All right. So this apparently this is I think going to be like the first promo piece of promo
I'm
Jeez, what
digging
did they-
that.
for Marvels.
The grip on that, they like ripped it and ran.
Is that a pillow?
Oh, it's a pillow.
No, I think it's a poster.
No, it looks like a pillow.
You think it's a pillow?
Yeah,
No, it is a pillow for sure.
Yeah.
Is that a pillow? Is that like an official piece of merchandise?
Yeah, it looks
That
I honestly
Monica
can't tell.
Rambeau outfit is dope.
Yeah, it looks like it's like a Target or something like that.
Yeah, but she looks great.
And also, Miss Marvel has a different, or
Kind of looks like a
yeah, Miss Marvel has a different outfit too.
Black
When
Yeah.
you took it off.
How do I put it on you in there? Like that?
Very interesting looking thing there. Interesting looking
Not
thing.
great.
Anyway,
No, 'cause
but
I'm not in the
apparently it
shot.
is a pillow. But there you go. That outfit.
I only have Robin.
I'm just so excited to see Ms. Marvel again.
Yeah.
I love Ms. Marvel
I
so
can't
much.
wait. And
I
that
love
comes
that
out
character.
after Guardians.
November, not November.
No, November. It comes out earlier than that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's July, right?
Actually, I looked that up, Ray. When does the Marvels come out? Because I think it's relatively soon. That's
Because it's Quantum Mania, Guardians, and then Marvels.
July 28th, 2023.
July 28th. So we're about
the day
7
after
months
my
away.
Yeah, that's after
7.5
Guardians,
months,
and that's
8.
after Quantum.
Very excited about that. Anyway, guys, enough of that. Let's do what we are here to do, which is to hear from you guys and the stuff that you guys want to talk about. So now the super chats are of course closed now. They filled up pretty quick as they often do. So if you got into question, hang tight. We're going to get to it here in just a moment. So Rob, what do we got up here?
Let's see. Well, we got Scotty Hale, John. Curious to know your thoughts on 1889. I'm through the first 3 episodes, and to me, the atmosphere and tension is tense. Bring on the filthy.
Isn't that supposed to be 1899?
1899.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't watched it.
I've watched 3 episodes now too, and you know what? I'm liking it more as it goes along. I the first episode is a little iffy, but my friend Dieter Bastian says stick with it, which I have been, and I'm enjoying it.
All right.
It's kind of like Event Horizon for ships in 1899.
Okay. What's next?
Wally Jackson says, no way does John think the Rams beat the Chiefs when they've been garbage all year and are now without Stafford and Cooper Kupp.
Listen, that's why I said I think it's going to be a big upset. I think it's going to be a big up. KC is always good for one huge letdown game every year. And I have a feeling it's going to be against the Rams. So I listen, I'm acknowledging it'll be a huge upset. It'd be
Is that a home
huge
game?
Upset. I can't remember if it's a home game or not, to be honest with you. But by the way, SoFi Stadium hasn't been particularly friendly to the Rams this year, so I don't know if that'd be that much of an advantage.
No, I just
anyway.
think you could go.
But yeah, I am predicting the massive upset.
Wow.
Massive upset. All right, what's
We'll
next?
see. Wally Jackson sent in a super chat. Does he have something to say?
Oh, no. We're on this one now.
Oh, we're on Culture War. Oh, okay. I see. Culture War Diplomacy says Samuel L. Jackson wanted to play Show Enough in a remake of The Last Dragon. That's probably not happening. What are your thoughts on the original, and do you think that would have been cool? First of all, I wear my I'm the Master t-shirt.
I was going to say, you've got the shirt.
I've got the shirt. Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. I love The Last Dragon. It's one of the great 80s goofy martial arts movies. But Sam Jackson would have killed as Shonuff, the Shogun.
I'll say this too. If you spend a good afternoon with the internet available to you to do, say, 4 or 5 hours of research, I don't know if you can find 5 movies that Samuel L. Jackson has not been in. He is a prolific. He's in almost everything.
Honestly, I'm surprised they haven't remade The Last Dragon, like somebody like Larissa or somebody remaking it, because a
it'll
hip-hop
happen.
score,
It'll
it'd be
happen.
great if they did that. I'd love to see them remake The Last Dragon.
All right, what's next?
Jay Master, 1 of 2. Bassam Tariq took to Instagram to share his thoughts on Marvel hiring Jan Demange to direct Blade starring Mahershala Ali. The news is finally out. My dear brother Jan Munir Demange is directing Blade. Y'all are in for a real treat. As he steps into this role, I am proud to support him as he has supported me.
I love seeing stuff like that.
That's great.
That is fantastic. Because, I mean, he would have every right to be sour. I mean, he invested a lot of months, maybe even over a year in trying to develop this movie, and then suddenly he's off and somebody's back in. He can be sour about it instead of coming out, being positive, being supportive, all that kind of stuff. Love it. I kind of wish, now, you know, we're big Sly Stallone fans
Yes.
here. We love Sly Stallone. But regardless of going on behind the scenes, it kind of bothers me seeing Sly when he's asked. I don't know if you saw that interview recently where they start asking him, are you going to watch Creed 3? He goes, oh, no, absolutely not. It's like, even if there's like some tension there, like, why not be more positive? Why not say, hey, you know, I congrats to them. You know,
Yeah.
can't hope for every success. I don't know.
I mean,
It's just good to
especially
see.
since Ryan Coogler went to him with this idea and said, hey, and extended the Rocky franchise by 3 movies. I mean, he's still a producer on Creed 3.
Anyway, that's great to see. Thanks for sharing that,
Really
Jay.
cool.
I
I like
love
that a
seeing
lot.
little stories like that. All right, what's next?
Jonathan Schultz says,
Oh, and he sends in like a $20 super chat. Thank you, Jonathan.
very nice,
Appreciate
Jonathan.
that, man.
Thank you. Says, with Iger coming back to Disney, do you think that with the inclusion Gunn made DC Studios CEO Hugh Jackman back in Deadpool 3 and Cavill back as Soups, that this might be one of the greatest years of movie industry news?
Here's the thing. It's hard to tell because let's just say this. If you go 2 years without sex and then you have sex, you're thinking this is the best sex I ever had. But is it really? And we've gone through such a stretch of years where we had, because of the pandemic, we had no movies, we had no production and no movies. Is it one of the best years for movie news, or is it just kind of feel like that because we've been through a rough couple of years? I'm not really sure.
Man, after 2 years, I'd just be hoping I didn't finish too soon.
Your movie, right?
The movie or what?
You didn't finish your movie.
My
too
movie
soon.
too soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
the edit.
There you go.
That's what I meant.
All right, what's next?
Quick edit.
CJ Rebirth says, I don't know if Taylor's seen it yet, but there's a Hulu movie called Crush featuring the actress who voices Moana, and I was very entertained by it, and I had fun with it.
Are
you
you
seen
familiar
it,
with
Taylor?
that, Taylor?
I have not, but I just looked up the poster right now. It looks pretty cute. I'll put it up for you,
You know,
guys.
we had her. Oh, I thought it was supposed to be. Oh, it's a live action. I thought from the question that was anime, it said voice, is it?
She
I think it's the
does
girl who
voice
voiced
of
Moana.
That's the
Oh,
actress.
just
She's
the
the
girl who
voice of
does the
Moana.
voice of Moana.
So I
isn't
can't
it?
even comment on
We've
this.
had, by the way, she came into our studios when I was still at AMC. She is delightful. She came in and did an afternoon interview with us at the studio once, and she was absolutely charming. Fell in love with her.
She looks like
fantastic.
she's 16.
She's young.
Yeah.
She's young. I don't know what age she is now, but yeah. All right, what's next?
I'll check it out, though. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Casinema Reviews says, thoughts on the animated film from last year, The Mitchells versus the Machines. I haven't seen it. I was late seeing it, but it ended up being my favorite movie of last year.
I was very late to the party on that because, frankly,
Everyone loves it.
it did not look very good. It just straight up did not look very good. The trailers were not all that great. I mean, at least the trailers told you what the movie was about, but still, the trailers didn't look all that great. I wasn't a big fan of the look of it. The animation style looked a little cheaper, even though they spent a lot of money on it. And so one night, Ann and I were home, and we had some time on our hands. So let's watch Mitchells versus Machines. I heard some good things about it. It's probably trash. It's delightful.
All right.
It is. There were at least 10 good, solid laugh out loud moments for me. And it's a very charming, delightful, funny, the movie ends and you just feel good and you're smiling and you had a good time. It's a surprisingly good movie. You haven't had a chance to check it out yet. Check it out. All right. What's next?
Justin Lee says, Rob, Blackpink just
Don't
had their
encourage him.
2-day stadium concert in LA. Did you get to go? No. And as a matter of fact, I had a number of people write to me saying they would take me with them, but I didn't go.
Betrayal.
Camila Cabello was a guest performer, and Simu was there as well. Yeah, he knows where his bread's buttered. I'd go. If I was him, I'd go to Blackpink.
Have you? There it is. Have you seen have you seen any of the YouTube videos of Simu dancing? His dance videos.
Oh yeah,
He's really good.
really good, dude. That guy's a baller.
Yeah.
He's a stud, and
Okay.
the way he dresses, he always looks good.
I'm meeting him on Saturday.
I know.
Very
And
excited about that.
I'm very jealous.
All right, what's next?
You're going to bond on the Canadian tip, too. Ethan Holgate says, hi, guys. Out of curiosity, what are your thoughts on Terminator Salvation? I never understood the hate it gets, as I've always thought it was brilliant.
I'll say this. I also don't understand the hate it gets, but to me, it was a very forgettable movie. I honestly didn't think it was that. Now, I didn't think it was offensively bad like some people make it out to be. I just thought it was that was a movie. I didn't think it was particularly good. What do you think about it?
I kind of enjoyed it from the sense that it concentrated on the future war. I liked Christian Bale as John Connor. There was a lot of things. I thought it was way more interesting than Genesis or Dark Fate was. I mean,
I was definitely more interesting.
it was more interesting. So, but again, I just think the Terminator franchise has been so played out.
It really has.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Now, I know I've said this before, but the only thing left for the Terminator franchise to do is to cross over with the Matrix franchise. Because again, if you, all joking aside, if you look at that, they fit together perfectly.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It absolutely fits together
Skynet
perfectly.
created the Matrix.
You could say they're in the same universe.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
I like that idea. Reamer Bulldog says, I think Marvel will be going back to quality over quantity now that Kevin Feige has creative power back.
They've already got a slate.
To a degree. Like, the reality is he still has bosses, right?
Yeah.
And he very well may be given a mandate of, we need X amount of product from you. Now, the difference will be Kevin Feige will now have absolute autonomy in determining what those projects are, where those projects should go, blah, blah, blah. But he still will have bosses that will dictate to him and say, hey, we need X amount of product from you. We need X amount of product that we can put on Disney Plus. We need X amount of product that we can put in theaters. But this is our mandate. We need this. Now, and then Kevin Feige is free to be the one to make the determination about what gets made, how it gets made, and how it gets organized. But we'll see. It's hard. Once you open the tap, it's hard to close it again. It's hard to tell shareholders why you're reducing output. So I don't know. We'll have to see. And for all I know, maybe this is all Kevin Feige's doing. Maybe Kevin Feige's like, I have a vision where I'm putting out a new product every 3 weeks. I mean, maybe, again, which would be ridiculous. But again, maybe it's Feige pushing that agenda and not anybody else.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because, okay, they've got Winter Soldier, Secret Invasion's in the can, Ironheart shooting, but what's next? What's the next Marvel series?
Well, Agatha's
I guess
coming.
Agatha is that, but are they shooting that now? Maybe.
Did you already say Secret Invasion?
He already said Secret Invasion.
Invasion. Yeah, you said
that's
that.
done.
Daredevil is on the heels.
Yeah, Echo. Don't forget about Echo.
Oh, that's right, Echo. Yep.
So they got movies. We got our Guardians of the Galaxy thing opening up this week or next week, whenever it is.
No, Friday night. I mean,
that's Thursday night?
Thursday midnight.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm really excited to see that.
I am growing to be excited about it.
I just want to know if they're going to play the X-Men, the Kevin Bacon in X-Men First Class joke.
It would be fun.
I don't know.
Sounds like something Deadpool would do.
Yes, it does.
All right, what's next?
Jared Vester says, okay, my last one, and I'll shut up about God of War. The music in it is incredible. I found myself listening to themes in the car. It's movie worthy.
I'll be honest with you. For those of you who missed it, I watched the 15-hour version of the God of War Ragnarok cutscene movie. 15 hours.
Wow.
It's very good. I don't think it's quite as good as, say, Last of Us or Last of Us 2, but I think it's even better than the last God of War, and I love the last God of War. I didn't even notice the music, to be honest with you. I did not notice. I was just so taken with the story. The story's quite good. The dwarves, that I liked them before. The dwarves in this, or the dwarf brothers are so good in this. It's crazy. But yeah, I didn't even notice the music, but I should go back and try to pay a little bit more attention to it. All right, what's next?
Lord Merlin sends in a super chat and says, I got nothing.
Someday to be like that.
Well, we appreciate
Just to be
your
supportive.
support.
Thank you for that,
Lord
man.
Merlin, Anal
that.
Nathrak Uthra Spetho Dothi Allende. That's what I say whenever he sends in the chat. The charm of making from Excalibur.
All right, what's next?
Orange Hand says, a classic Simpsons joke. Lisa is looking to buy a smart hamster. This one writes mysteries. How can a hamster write mysteries? Well, he figures out the ending first, and then he walks backwards.
I like that. That is funny. That's funny. I like that.
Okay.
You know what? I don't care. I get some people share clips of Simpsons and stuff like that. And while I have not sat down to watch a new episode of The Simpsons in years, I still get some clips sent to me. And after how many years have they been doing this now?
30.
They still do
the
some
80s.
funny shit.
Yeah, it's still funny.
They still do some funny shit. Maybe it's only like one funny moment per episode now. I don't know. I don't watch it anymore. But some of the stuff I get sent to me is really, really funny. All right, what's next?
Jared Vester says, also, there was at least 5 times in the story of God of War that I felt a little teary-eyed. Was there any moments that hit you?
I can't say.
Oh.
I mean, I was about to say, oh yeah, when blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. You can't. Don't say.
I can't, but I'll say there's a moment that involves the dwarves that is just really good, really powerful.
All right.
And Freya has a couple of moments too in it. All right, what's next?
Jared Vester says, I know John is a Sons of Anarchy fan.
Yep.
I'm curious as his thoughts of Ryan Hurst as Thor in God of War. He is now my favorite Thor. His character had layers.
It was a very, very different take on Thor than what we're used to, and that's great. It's really probably more accurate to the original mythology of Thor. And I love hearing Ryan Hurst's voice just because I'm a big Sons of Anarchy fan. He played Opie in that. That was my favorite character in Sons of Anarchy. I don't know that there was a lot of layers to him, to be honest. I mean, there are moments in the third act of the story that they do things, there are little turns that make it look like there's layer to the characters. But it's pretty shallow. Still, I did enjoy the character, but he didn't, let's just say that the Thor character, while he brought a lot of really cool moments, the Thor character doesn't bring any more depth to it, I don't think. And that has nothing to do with Ryan Hurst. That's just the character.
Right.
That's just my take on it.
All right,
what's next?
CJ Rebirth says, one thing I love personally about end credits is when they do fun visuals and catchy music like Fantasy and Free Guy, Message in a Bottle, Super Pets.
I can't remember. Do you remember that ending, Ray, in Super Pets? You were there and saw Super Pets with me. Do you remember that?
Well, ending.
Yeah. Yes. Ray's
The
paying
music.
close attention. The music, the post-credit scene in Super Pets, and there's some music number. I can't remember. Ray was there with me watching with me. I don't remember it either.
Ray's like, open mic's ending. What?
What? There's a fire. What? All right, what's next?
Reamer Bulldog says, the Blade project getting a new director. It's not a coincidence after Bob Paycheck got fired.
It's 1,000% coincidence.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's a 1,000% coincidence. I mean, I know I kind of joked yesterday. I don't think it's a coincidence. It's a total
Yeah, I mean, they
coincidence.
were working on this for a while. They just didn't announce it.
And on top of that, the CEO of Disney would have no input whatsoever on hiring a director or anything like
There's
that.
no way they could have booked someone within a day, an evening.
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
Sunday
within
to-
24 hours. Yeah, no.
As I said when I was interviewing Ruth Carter months ago, she said, oh no, it's happening. So she knew.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
Jared Vester says, hope you don't mind my super chats. We'll be gushing over God of War Ragnarok's story. No spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the story was really, really good. And despite the fact that it was like 15 hours, although I did see that there was a 7-hour version of it that probably just cut out some of the combat and everything. Even the 15-hour version has a lot of the combat cut out, but just make sure every moment in that game where there's a line spoken that has something to do with the story, it was all in there. But even at 15 hours, I never felt like it dragged. I never felt like, well, this needed to be shorter. Like, I never felt that. It was just a really good story.
That's good.
All right, what's next?
Jay Master says, John, ready to feel really old? Get this. 27 years ago today, Toy Story released in theaters.
Are we actually getting close to 30th anniversary of Toy Story?
Well, I guess Ray's right. We're going back 30 years. Get
That
ready,
is-
Ray.
At least in a couple. Yeah. Oh my God. I still remember exactly where I was. I was in Welland, Ontario.
Wow.
Welland, Ontario with my buddy, Jeff LaValle, and the girl he was dating at the time, who I was pretty sure was into me. But we can talk about that sometime, Jeff. But, and we were hanging out, the three of us were just hanging out in Welland one afternoon, and he said, you want to go see that new Toy Story movie? I'm like, oh yeah, that's the one, the new computer animation. That computer animation. This was very different at the time.
The cloners.
The cloners. And so we went to the Seaport Mall in Welland, Ontario, and watched that, and I was captivated. And
Yeah,
like 27 years ago, oh my God.
Well, wait. We were just talking today about, what about Beauty and the Beast?
So today is the 31st anniversary of the release of The Addams Family and Beauty and the Beast.
And we were
the actual
talking
release.
about when Beauty and the Beast came out, we just thought it was like the next thing, like that ballroom scene. It went to like 3D art, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
Still today, it's
the
amazing.
crystal in the chandelier. Like it's 3D rendered, and then it's normal 2D art. And we just thought it was the most incredible thing. And now
Yep.
look where we're at.
Yep.
All right, what's next?
Jay Master says, John, ready. Oh, that was Scooch Down. There we go. Richard K says, will Bob Iger get things back on track? Yes, because it's funny how Bob Paycheck has been fired. Then all of a sudden, Blade gets a new director. And so will Iger get the MCU back on track from the disappointing Phase 4?
Again, I do not, everybody knows I am not a fan of the job that Bob Paycheck did as CEO of Disney at all. That being said, you cannot blame him for at all for the quality of thing. I think the number one thing, besides the fact that it is nearly impossible to make a good movie. Everybody always forgets that. It's nearly impossible to make a really good movie. So it eventually, if you put out 10 movies, odds are 6 of them are going to be subpar and 4 hopefully are really good.
Right.
But Disney, I mean, Marvel has just been operating on such a click, like ever since phase 1.
Yeah.
It's been insane.
Yeah.
So aside from that, I think the other big thing is just that Kevin Feige became stretched too thin. What's the saying? Your eyes are bigger than your stomach.
So, yeah.
I just think he just got stretched too thin. Before, the MCU used to be this thing where Kevin Feige had direct quality control over everything. And now there's just far too many projects for him to do that. So, I mean, it's just something they got to keep an eye on. And even though I do not like Bob Chapek and I do not like the job that he did and all that kind of stuff, you can't blame him for that.
Yeah.
It's just part of the reality. Anyway, guys, we're going to take a second here and thank one of the sponsors of our videos here today. I'm wearing them right now. Super cozy. Our friends at MeUndies.
The holidays are officially upon us and it's time to start celebrating. Do your thing and holiday your way with MeUndies. Because it's the most wonderful time of the year to try MeUndies because they're currently offering a very merry deal. Get 20% off your first purchase with free standard shipping and free returns when you go to MeUndies.com/Campea. Guys, you know I've been wearing MeUndies for a while now because I used to be like everybody else. I would go to the big store, buy the biggest box of the most generic underwear, and I thought that was good enough. But ever since I started MeUndies and started wearing the most comfortable underwear I have ever worn in my life, I swear on this Christmas season, I will never go back. So get your holiday shopping finished early and start making time for yourself with the new MeUndies holiday collection. Their undies, long underwear, and sleepwear are made out of the softest, most supple fabric you've ever felt and are guaranteed to bring you comfort and joy to all of your loved ones. Shop their classic plaid prints for a traditional, picture-perfect style, or get festive with their adventurous limited edition sweater prints. Available in sizes extra small all the way through 4XL, MeUndies has what you need to make all of your favorite people smile this holiday season, all in one convenient place. So to get 20% off your first order, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/Campea.
And thank you to our friends at MeUndies for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. All right, before we get back into the question, I saw a few people in the live chat, I'm not quite sure who it was, saying, how come John's not talking about Mythic Quest? First of all, I'm a big fan of Mythic Quest.
Yeah, I know.
Rob McElhenney, the whole cast is great. So the new season started, and the first new episode was good. It was solid, but they just did an episode that's one of the funniest they've ever done, where 3 of the main female characters go to brunch, or as Poppy called it, the brunch. That's not what you call it. You don't call it the brunch. And it is one of the funniest segments of like a comedy show I've seen for a while. The girl in the green shirt with the long blonde hair, they get there. What are you supposed to do at a brunch? I don't know. You talk about work. And they're walking into the restaurant. She goes right up to a stranger sitting there. She goes, what do you do for work? And it's like, no, that's not how you do it. She goes, oh, I'm doing brunch wrong. It's really, really funny. So
I didn't realize Salieri was in this.
What's that?
Salieri. I can't think of his name now.
Oh, they got the bald guy at the end?
Murray Abraham.
Yeah, F. Murray Abrams.
He's not in this season. They actually start the season because I think he's on that other show now, but they started the season.
He's on White Lotus.
That's right. He's in White Lotus. They started the season with a recorded message from him saying, if you look up to the sky right now, at particular, like at 11:58 p.m., you'll see the satellite that my ashes are in. And they just said that he got diagnosed with a fatal disease. So he drove his car off a cliff and put his ashes in a satellite that are going to be flying over. So goodbye, everybody's like, well, that's a way to unexpectedly write a character out of the show. So he's not in there anymore. But Pootie is in there, and I love him. He's great in just about everything.
Wow.
So, anyway, like Mythic Quest a lot. All right, what's next?
Jay Master says, Vincent D'Onofrio has confirmed that Disney Plus's 18 episodes Daredevil Born Again series will explore Kingpin and Daredevil Matt Murdock even more deeper into their stories and even darker. Thoughts? That is a big paragraph that literally says nothing. Well, I mean,
what do we expect they're going to do?
Yeah.
You know, we're going to have Kingpin and Daredevil on the show, but we're not really going to go into them. Like, so that, hey, listen, I thank you, Vincent, for saying that, but you just said a whole mouthful of nothing.
I mean, if you follow the Born Again storyline, that's kind of what happens. But they kind of touched on a lot of that stuff in the Netflix Daredevil series.
Yeah, and I think for all the people who still, I see in the live chat right now about being TVMA, Daredevil ain't going to be TVMA. I mean, listen, I hate to break it to everybody, but Kevin Feige already kind of closed the book on this. He said definitively back when he was talking about Blade at the time. Because if you guys remember, this was all over the news, but Kevin Feige was asking, is it a possibility Blade could be rated R? And Kevin Feige just put an end to it. He said, look, we do not do R-rated stuff. Deadpool being an exception, he said. He said, Deadpool's the exception. But like Blade's not going to be rated R. Do not, if you're thinking this Daredevil series is going to be TVMA, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. I think it's going to be great. I think they're going to do a wonderful job with it. But listen, at the end of the day, the things that made the Netflix Daredevil series great had nothing to do with the TVMA content.
I agree.
I mean, some of it was really cool, absolutely. But the best things about that show were the best things about that show, whether it was rated PG, PG-13, TVMA, it doesn't matter. So don't expect this Daredevil to be
100%.
TVMA. All right, what's next?
James Germain says, hey, John, The Chosen Season 3 premiere had 8 million in comparison. Game of Thrones Season 4, just over 1 million worldwide. Would you say it's a success?
Don't care. Simply don't care. I don't, to be blunt, I don't give two, nuggets of shit about faith-based films. And unless you think that there's some kind of prejudice in that, I developed that theory in seminary. It was me and my buddies in Bible college and seminary that decided, man, faith-based films are shit. So I just don't care about them at all. I pay no attention to them whatsoever. So, hey, but listen, any unknown little property that comes out, regardless of what it is, doesn't matter if it's, what's the name of the big anime everybody's talking about? Red something or Red Chapstick?
One Piece Red.
One Piece Red. Red Chapstick. One Piece. Doesn't matter. Anything that can come out and like out of nowhere make $8 million, that's great. That's awesome. I mean, I don't care about it, but it is great. It's a great result.
Hey, I mean, and there's a lot of very religious people in the world. That makes sense. I still want to make the ultimate movie about Job. I love the story of Job.
Red Chapstick. I'm going to make that. Nobody steal my idea. Red Chapstick.
It's a double
coming.
bill. Pickle My Foot and Red Chapstick coming to a theater near you.
All right, what's next?
Who is next? Let's see. Quality Not Included says, as a longtime John Campea fan, nothing sadder than when John doesn't understand or is confused by your super chat. Years of academy training wasted.
I mean, listen, nobody gets more frustrated than I do because, somebody watches the show, which is I'm grateful for right there, wants to engage with the show, another layer of gratefulness, wants to support the show by sending in a super chat, another layer of gratefulness, but maybe they got excited as they were typing it out or were distracted when they're typing it out. And I'm reading it to say, hey, John, year 7, Mel Gibson, foot soup. And I'm just left with, I don't, and because we have, sometime if we're doing the John Campea Show, we'll have 5,000 people watching live on the stream or something like that. It's like, I can't waste everybody's time by sitting here for the next 3 minutes trying to decipher what gets written. And believe me, then I feel terrible about it, but that's where I was like, guys, please don't write in acronyms. Double check what it is you're writing before you hit send, because I just hate it when somebody goes through that, sends it in, and then I'm not able to answer it. I always feel terrible.
Well, it's also true. Sometimes people just think, because we're so smart, that we know everything.
It's the spinoff.
That's very funny.
Chapstick.
that we know everything, and sometimes your mind isn't where the super chat's coming from. So even though you know what they're talking about, you don't recognize it because
Right.
the way it's put to you, and your mind hasn't gone to that place. So sometimes I read sometimes things I'm like, what? And then when it's explained to me, I'm like, oh, okay, now I know what you meant.
Yeah, I mean, because other people, you need to understand too that we are literally, even just in something like open mic, we are going through, I'm going to guess 40 or 50 questions come in, right? We are literally trying to minute by minute go from topic to topic. And then every time a topic comes up, we're trying to think of the background of that topic, who starred in that topic, who directed that topic, what was that topic about, blah, blah, blah.
And then our own opinions about that
And
topic.
then formulate our opinions about that. And then 45 seconds later, boom, hard gear change and get into the very next topic.
Right.
And so sometimes like maybe there'll be an acronym. It's like, John, how did you not know that QEW 65M25 was the famous Korean movie, blah, 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 blah. It's like, it's just, you got to understand, we're trying to think about 1,000 different things at once. That's one of the advantages of listen, anybody can make anything look easy when you do it pre-recorded.
Right.
Anybody can make anything look easy when you do it pre-recorded. It's a little bit more challenging when you're doing it live.
And when you're not so close to death as I am. No, I'm just kidding.
Plus, Taylor doesn't have much time to find all those stupid pictures, so it's
Yeah,
got
man.
scramble.
I mean,
You know, this is hard work.
All right, what's next?
A new the death door than we thought.
Anubis Genocide says, really need an Iger coming back like Luke in the Mandalorian season 2 finale. Smash cut to Captain Phillips. I'm the captain now meme. By the way, have you guys gotten the chance to check out 1899? Yes, 3 episodes. I'm 3 episodes in. And look, like Dark, it's really handsomely made. And I'll tell you something. Dear Bastian, my friend who lives in Saarbrücken, Deutschland, told me to not watch. He said there's a making of special. It's like 50 minutes long, and they use the volume. They shot a majority of
Really?
that. They have done a masterful job using the volume. And by the way, Dieter told me don't watch the special. Of course, that's like catnip to me. I'm like, I'm gonna go watch it right now.
Yeah,
but
like somebody saying, don't press the giant red button.
yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. But the show is good. I want to see where it goes, but it is moving a little slow.
All right, what's next?
Good stuff though. Reamer Bulldog says the Avatar trailer is beautiful to look at, but I still don't know what the movie's about. I hope the movie has a really good story and not just visuals.
Liz, I have no doubt.
Yeah.
I have not seen a James Cameron movie where I didn't think it had a really good story to go with it.
Yeah.
But that being said, I completely agree. The new trailer is gorgeous to look at. It's breathtaking. I put it up in the theater room on a 150-inch screen. I'm like, oh my God. Like I was fully immersed. It's beautiful. But again, it's the third and final trailer, and they haven't told us shit about what the movie's about. And I think that's going to bite them in the ass. Again, I think this movie's going to be a huge financial success, massive financial success. But I don't think it's going to live up to its full potential, because I think there's going to be some audiences that aren't just sitting in their houses waiting for Avatar to come out so they can rush to the theater, that need to be sold on it. And I'm sorry, but these trailers, all they've done is excited people who are already looking forward to Avatar 2. I don't know that these trailers have done much to sell people who weren't already going to buy tickets regardless. The people who are on the fence, I don't know if these trailers are going to sell them on it. So I don't know. We'll see. All right, what's next?
Reamer Bulldog says, so glad Disney has Bob Iger back in charge. This is great news.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, this is, and listen, that doesn't automatically mean that the magical wand is going to be waved and everything is going to be fine again. It's easy to cause damage. It's hard to repair damage.
Agreed.
And we have had 2 3/4 years of Bob Chapek inadvertently, not intentionally, causing damage. And now Bob Iger's got 2 years to try to undo it and try to get everything back on track. Even for Big Papa Iger, I'm not 100% convinced it's something that can be done. I don't know that he can get it all back in line in 2 years. So I don't know. We'll have to see.
Agreed.
All right, what's next?
James Argenta says, at CCXP, I think Disney will release the Indy 5 trailer, the Mando Season 3 date, with possible new Ant-Man 3 footage.
We were talking about this morning. The big convention in Brazil, I would love to go to this thing someday. I would be dying to go to this thing someday. But it's been getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And because of the big, again, gust of fart wind that D23 was, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they not just gave us some things about projects we already know about. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave us some actual new information. I won't be surprised. I'm not predicting it. I'm just saying I won't be surprised if we actually get a Fantastic Four announcement. And by announcement, I mean a cast member, a release. Oh, we already got a release date, but something that we don't have yet. So I think some pretty cool stuff can come out.
Yeah,
of
I
there.
think so too. It's a huge market.
Yeah. All right. Is that it?
All right, so I found a few that did not load. I could go ahead and read those for you guys.
Yeah, please.
First one comes to us from Culture Wars Diplomacy, who says, saw the preview for Gotham Knights on CW. Does CW hate me, or is it just a sign of the apocalypse?
I think they hate themselves. I mean, I saw the previews for that and I thought, did somebody, you know what it feels like? Sometimes it's CW, and CW has done some stuff I love. Supernatural, Arrow, right? But sometimes I feel like CW is being run by somebody who just got faced with a Brewster's Million situation. It's like, okay, you got $1 billion if you can run this. You get $1 billion if you can run this company into the ground by putting out the crappiest content you possibly can. That Gotham Knights thing looks atrocious. Looks, I've got nothing redeeming to say about it. I mean, hopefully the show's good, but oh my God, it looks awful.
It does, and the premise is so stupid. By the way, the reason you come to this channel, kids, and watch is because we make Brewster's Millions references on this show. That's why you come here.
All right, what's next?
What is
so
this?
the next one comes to us from Sadhu, who says Tom Cruise and Matt Damon both played Roy Miller in a 2010 actioner. Also, Callisto Protocol, Game Stars, Josh Duhamel and Karen Fukuhara, sorry about that, love space horror.
Kevin Fukuhara's in The Boys.
What did I say? I'm not even going to try it again.
I didn't understand a single thing they were talking about. Like,
Protocol is a game, I think, on Xbox. And it has
okay.
actors in it, I think, if I remember.
You should
So
talk into your
Tom
microphone.
Cruise and Matt Damon both played who?
Yeah, I don't.
So it's saying that Tom Cruise and Matt Damon both played Roy Miller in a 2010 actioner.
It'd be nice. See, here's a great example, guys. Write what you're talking about. Tell us what it is you're talking about.
Was that like Night and Day? Characters named Roy Miller, or
was that 2010? Was that Night and
know.
Day that he did that with?
I'm just trying to think of what he that I
Cameron
don't.
Diaz.
Yeah, the one with Cameron Diaz, which is a surprisingly good movie.
Yeah, it's James Mangold.
I think it's his second. I think it's Cruise's second most underrated movie. I think his most underrated movie is Valkyrie. But Night and Day, I think is the second most underrated movie. I actually like that one. All right, what do we got next?
All right, so next up comes from Fanimator, who says, you walk into an AMC and there's a theater playing Everything Everywhere All at Once and another one playing Shang-Chi. Which do you go to?
Shang-Chi. Everything Everywhere All at Once is fabulous. I love that movie. It's my favorite movie of the year. But it's a movie that I love just as much on my TV screen. If I get an opportunity, you're not going to get a ton of opportunities to watch Shang-Chi again on the big screen. Watching the bus fight, even in my home theater, is great. But seeing the bus fight and the big battle at the end and I mean, I probably go in to watch Shang-Chi. That probably might.
There you go.
All right, what's next?
And that's it.
All right, and that'll do it. I got the hiccups now. That'll do it for today's installment of Open Mic. Thanks so much for being here and joining us here today, guys. Big special thank you to those of you who sent in those super chats. Number one, because you gave us really interesting things to talk about. But number two, you supported our channel as you did it, and all of us involved with the channel. Thank you guys so very much for your support. Don't forget to come back again tomorrow, guys. It's going to be me, Robert Meyer Burnett, Chris Carr's back in here. Lou's going to be here. Of course, Taylor and Jonathan and Ray are all going to be here. Make sure you guys are here too. For those of you who are channel members, don't forget that today at 5:30 p.m., a little under 2 hours from now, we're going to be having a live stream channel members only town hall meeting. So if you are a channel member, make sure you come and join us for that. So for everybody in the room, my name's John Campea. Thanks for joining us today, guys. And until next time, my friends, bye-bye.